Read-Utsuro no Hako to Zero no Maria, Volume 2. You can read along in the description down below. May 1st, Friday, 8:14. Kokone ignored my casual good morning today. She's acting strangely distant. She's still talking to our other classmates even though she would normally pop in arbitrarily into my conversations. At the same time, she's sneaking peeks at me from time to time while glaring at me with a pretty scary look on top of that. I don't know what's going on. I have no idea why she would suddenly start acting like this, since I don't really feel like talking to my other friends when Kokone's behaving so oddly. I tried to remain on the sidelines by focusing instead on munching on a cheese-flavored umaibo. Did you do anything to Kitty? As expected of Daya, he completely ignores my subtle signals and asks me point blank. I have no idea what's wrong. I see. Okay, let me tell you something good. Something good? Does he know the reason for Kokone's strange attitude? You know when Kitty and her first midterm in middle school, she was so eager to get good marks that she almost ended up pulling an all-nighter on the eve of the exam. Because of that, she fell asleep during the third exam. It wouldn't have been that remarkable if she had just slept silently. But that didn't happen. Her babbling filled that dead silent classroom even while she was sound asleep. If I remember correctly, she was saying something along the lines of, "This plug suit is too tight. I'll never fit in." Daya? What on earth are you talking about? About her weak point, of course. It takes a lot for her to dislike someone, so now's your chance to get on her bad side and banish her from your life. If you remind her of that story now, it'll be a walk in the park. And why would I want to do that? Besides, isn't that story pretty cute, actually? No! This is where it stops being cute and starts getting funny. Listen up, as I regale you with the legend of Kokone and her drool. Since I've got a bad feeling about Daya's yarn, I wordlessly cover my ears. But Daya just grabs my arm. Stop! I've had enough! No, man, forget that story for now. Look over there. I look in the direction Daya is pointing. Watanashi-san and a male student are engaged in a conversation by the door. They both look very serious. The student she is talking to is Ryu Miyazaki, a classmate of mine who happens to be the class president. His black frame glasses are perched above his intellectual-looking, almond-shaped eyes. Unlike Daya, who was elected to the presidency in his first year solely because of his superior grades, Miyazaki-kun fulfills his duties with great responsibility. But while he may be a model student, he isn't painfully rigid, and that's why he's still popular. I reluctantly approach him. To be honest, I happen to have some trouble dealing with Miyazaki-kun's self-confident attitude. What's wrong? I ask. They turn around to face me. Oh, Kazuki, this guy stopped me when I wanted to enter the classroom.
Of course, what's wrong with you? Moseying into a classroom of your seniors. Heck, it's not even lunchtime.
Now that he mentions it, Otanashi-san doesn't usually come here except during our lunch breaks. Maybe it's because she at least pays lip service to the school rules, rather than ignoring them outright.
Planning to carry Hoshino off somewhere again, right?
What I do with Kazuki is none of your business.
But it is. I'm the class president here, whether you like it or not. That means that I have to keep an eye on my classmates. Got it? The first period is about to start. If you take him away now, he won't make it back in time.
I couldn't care less. We have something much more important to take care of. For a second there, I don't know what she's referring to, but on second thought, there's only one thing that comes to mind. It has to be about the bog. That's a task of great importance for me too. I'm sorry, Miyazaki, but I'll go with her, I say, causing him to stare closely at me with a frown on his face. I reflexively step back, intimidated by his piercing gaze.
So you do whatever she tells you to.
That's not what I'm saying.
You are a wimp, aren't you? Ever thought about having your own thoughts instead of playing a girl's poodle?
Hey, watch your mouth. It's like you're saying Kazuki doesn't have any will of his own, Otanashi-san interrupts. Miyazaki grins in response.
Oh, please forgive me. Did you take offense because I insulted your sweetheart? Or did it bother you because I implied that you're ordering Hoshino around?
Miyazaki. Otanashi-san scowls coldly at him. He chuckles.
What? If you want to object.
You're acting suspicious. Otonashi-san's words silenced Miyazaki-kun. Your position as class president is too weak a pretext for meddling in our affairs. You didn't seem to care a bit until now, right? Why did you change your mind all of a sudden? What are you trying to achieve by approaching us so frantically? Is this an attempt to find an excuse that would allow you to meddle in our affairs?
What the fuck are you talking about?
Fine then. Your behavior just caught my eye, because I'm very sensitive to my environment at the moment. One can never be too careful, and even if you are really up to something, then this speech should put you on notice. I watched their verbal sparring in mute amazement. Why is she talking like that all of a sudden? Kozuki, let's go, Otonashi-san says as she grabs my hand. Yeah. Miyazaki-kun gazes at my arm, with a slightly strained face as I'm dragged away. Indeed, his approach was a bit more aggressive than normal. As I am pulled out of the classroom, we come across Haruaki and Asami-san. Haruaki is returning from the restroom, and Asami-san starts chasing after Otonashi-san.
Oh, what's up, Hoshi? You on the run?
On the run? Upon hearing Haruaki's unnecessary remark, Asami-san's gaze fixes upon our joined hands. She then raises her gaze slightly and looks at me with narrowed eyes. I'm scared. Oh, what's wrong, Rikochi? You're acting strange today. She keeps staring at me without appearing to be annoyed by that nickname, which she usually would. Asami-san has been acting a bit odd since yesterday, right, Hiroaki?
Really?
Hiroaki, how airheaded do you have to be to forget about what happened 1 day ago? Maria-san. Sorry, but we're in a hurry, Otonashi-san says to Amami-san while glancing at her quickly and turns around. Shocked by Otonashi-san's attitude, Asami-san casts down her eyes and murmurs. If only the underground board of the school would get spammed with libellous comments and humiliating pictures that thoroughly ruin Kazuki Hoshino's dignity. Don't take it out on me! May 1st, Friday, 8:31. Just like yesterday, our meeting takes place behind the school building. You know what this is about, right? She asked while leaning against the wall. I gulp as I nod. I suppose she has collected new information about the box that's currently in play. There are several things I'll have to ask you. Okay. Why do you think we are often together? Like, right now, for example. Why? Because it benefits you? It increases the chance that you come across O again. Exactly. I'm pretty sure that was a perfectly good answer, but Otonashi-san wrinkles her brow. Hang on. So you are aware of the position you are in, and haven't gotten the wrong ideas. That is correct? What are you talking about? Come on! No. Never mind. Of course you wouldn't say such a thing if you hadn't thought it through. I owe you a sincere answer. I mustn't run away. Kazuki, my feelings to you... My answer to your feelings are... Hold on! I quickly interrupt her, causing her to yell out. Why do you interrupt me? Sorry, but what on earth are you getting at? Aren't we talking about the box? About the box? What's with that? Of course the box is important, but it isn't it obvious that I've brought you here because of the call you made yesterday? My call? Yes, yesterday's... She breaks off mid-sentence and her eyes widen and holds her breath. I see. That email... No way. I spent so much time together with Kazuki. Phone or not, this can't be. Otonashi-san? Kazuki, I'm going to check something now, she says in a loud and clear voice. Then she begins to mumble. You confessed to me over the phone yesterday, right? Confess? Does she mean confess as in, please go out with me? You also told me that you would confess again face to face the next day. In other words, today. I want it. Right, you wouldn't say that. Now that I think about it. Of course I want it. What makes you think that I'd say something like that? Well, take a look at your cell phone, she calmly suggests. I nod, take out my phone, and check my call history. The name I find at the top of the list is Maria Otonashi. The call was supposedly made at May 1st at 1:49 a.m. That's impossible. I was asleep at that time, so I naturally can't remember calling her. Yesterday, no, strictly speaking, today, at 2 o'clock in the morning, you rudely roused me from slumber by calling and confessing to me. That is my understanding of what happened. Wow, there's no way I'd do that. But on the other hand, Otonashi-san wouldn't make up something like this just to tease me. However, as a matter of fact, I didn't call her. Did someone play a prank on you? I have no idea how they pull it off. A prank? Huh. So you're suggesting that someone used your cell phone and confessed to me because that person was clowning around? As unreasonable as it sounds, that's the only thing I can think of. But the moment before I nod, with the exact same voice as you? Huh? I utter, leaving my mouth open like an idiot. Unless you have a twin brother from who you were separated at birth, let me assure you of one thing, Kazuki. There was no doubt that it was your voice. You must have been hearing things. You just saw my number and thought it was me. Probably. Kazuki, I've spent a human lifetime together with you. I would never confuse your voice with someone else's. I promise you that. She looks at me with utter conviction. I can't believe that she confused me with someone else, or either. I mean, that's impossible. Which means that I'm the only one under suspicion? No, that's just absurd. Otonashi-san is convicted that it was my voice, but I'm convinced that I didn't confess to her. But it's a fact that I called her. That doesn't add up. Yes, it's contradictory, however you look at it, which means that, right, a contradiction like this couldn't occur normally, which means that we are dealing with a box. I unwittingly press my fist against my chest, which already throbs with fear even though I'm still at a loss as to what's going on. We have to hurry up and come up with a countermeasure. The owner is obviously targeting us, and with ill will as well. I mean, what can I do? Let me think. I need some time to sort things out. For this time being, just make sure you're ready. I'll determine how we're going to proceed. I nod wordlessly. We're done here then. I'm returning to my classroom. With these words, she turns around and walks away. May 1st, Friday, 9:32. I returned to classroom after the end of first period, only to find Kokone standing beside the door in a daunting pose. She is scowling at me for some reason, her face slightly red. Maybe she's angry? I've been waiting. Huh? I've been waiting for you to approach me, she complains in a loud voice. But you thought you could just ditch first period together with her? I mean, what the heck? I don't get it. Your actions don't make sense, Kazu-kun. From my perspective, Kokone getting worked up doesn't make any sense, but I should probably be quiet now. Seemingly irritated by my silence, she gives my chest a shove and presses me against the wall, grumbling all the while. I'm sorry? Why are you apologizing? Huh? Sorry. No, seriously, why are you apologizing? Kokone draws closer and closer as I try to cope with my hopeless confusion. Or do you want to apologize? Apologize and pretend it never happened. Isn't that cruel? Well, that would make my life a lot easier, though. Wait. What on earth are you talking about? We're talking past each other, just like Otonashi-san and I did earlier. Huh? Oh, God. Wait a second. Does that mean... What don't you understand, Because, you know, because... Her face flushes even more. She turns crimson right up to her ears. If my guess is right, then I don't want to hear about it. If my guess is right, then I don't want to hear about it. Nevertheless, Kokone whispers the answer into my ear after she confirms there are no eavesdroppers. I'm talking about that call yesterday when you confessed to me. What? I confessed to her? Why am I confessing to so many people? I'm at a loss for words. Kokone looks up at me with upturned eyes. She bashfully looks down at the floor, probably misinterpreting my silence. She mulls over what to say for a while, but eventually begins to speak. I'm sorry, I really don't know how I should respond. I mean, I thought of you as a buddy and was pretty sure that's how you felt too. Besides, not that it matters, but there's Daya. She mutters her courage by clenching. She musters her courage by clenching her fist and raises her head. Give me some time. I don't know when I can give you an answer, but give me some time. Sorry. Her sorrow appears so clearly on her face that my heart starts to hurt. I want to shout out and tell her that it wasn't me, but there's no point in telling her that. Only a fool would act so thoughtlessly. Reading a different meaning into my painful expression, Kokone strains her lips, just like I have, turns around and trots back into the classroom. After I can no longer see her, I murmur, "I also think of you as a friend." I clench my fist. Suddenly, a certain thought occurs to me. I take out my phone and examine my call history. Why didn't I notice earlier? May 1st, 1:29 a.m. Kokone Kirino is listed right below Maria Ontanashi. May 1st, Friday, 11. Well then, let's see how things turn out. May 1st, Friday, 12. The first thing I hear is the sound of a girl crying. Daya's face is right in front of me. I haven't the slightest idea of what's going on. What the hell? Cold hostility is flickering in his eyes. Towards whom? Towards me? Of course, because I'm the one reflected in his eyes. In other words, he is regarding me as an enemy. Suddenly, a wave of pain rolls through me. My mouth and my cheeks hurt, as do my wrists. Daya is sitting astride me, grasping me tightly by my wrist. I finally manage to comprehend the situation I'm in. I'm in the music room. It's third period, so I should be in history class right now, but for some reason I'm in the music room, which is where my fourth period class is held. There's blood sticking to my uniform. Whose blood? It's probably my own. There's a metallic taste in my mouth. Daya must have hit me. What happened? What on earth happened here? Daya, what's... Keep your mouth shut, Kazu. One more word and I swear I'll crush your mouth. Daya's hostility is real. The plain tone of his voice proves that he's not joking. He would probably resort to violence if I made an unasked for remark. What sort of nightmare is this? However, if this were a nightmare, my body wouldn't hurt so much. This is reality. The crying hasn't stopped yet. Who's crying anyway? I turn my head towards the source of the sounds. Kokone Kirino is crying. The first sensation I feel is comprehension. I see. That's why she didn't stop Daya before things got to this point. The second sensation is wonder. Why would Kokone be crying? The next sensation that spreads within me is horror. Please. No. Okay. Kokone is crying and Daya has completely freaked out. So who's made her cry? Who made him angry? I'm in the music room, so it must be fourth period already. I don't remember anything that happened during third period. Yet I'm here. In a different place than I was before. In other words, I moved unknowingly? Like when I unknowingly sent an email to Otanashi-san and confessed to her. Like when I unknowingly confessed to Kokone and destroyed our relationship. What if I unknowingly did something that hurt Kokone and provoked Daya's wrath? That's enough, Dayan, Haruaki says as he puts his hand on Daya's shoulder. That's enough? Does that mean I deserve to get knocked down and beaten up? Daya bangs my hands against the ground and releases them. He slowly gets to his feet. Piercing glance still fixed upon me. Then I almost... as if on a whim, he tramples on my stomach with all his strength and turns his back to me. I squirm in pain and catch a glimpse of my surroundings as I do so. Everyone in my classmates, the music teacher, and even Haruaki is looking at me as if I've done something incomprehensible. Kokone's crying gets even louder as she presses her face against Daya's chest. I try to rise, but I have trouble doing so because of my pain. Nobody bothers to give me a hand. It's as if I were prostrating myself before them. Why do I have to endure this? Why does everyone seem to think that I got what I deserved? I don't know what happened, but I do know the cause. It's a box. Right. It's not my fault. It's the fault of the box. I haven't done anything wrong. Then, why do I have to go through this? I stand up on my own. Even though I'm in the center of attention, no one approaches me. I know perfectly well that no one is going to understand what really happened. Therefore, no one approaches me, no one speaks to me, no one. Not Daya, not Kokone, not even Haruaki. No one. No one. No one. No one. No one. Kozuki, are you alright? No one but her. I smile. Her sudden appearance in the middle of the lesson leaves everyone astounded, but I'm not surprised at all. Maria. As she hears her real name escape my lips, her eyes widen for a moment, but she immediately regains her usual equanimity and rushes from the door to my side. She stops in front of me and draws so near to my face that I can make out her individual eyelashes, completely ignoring the spell that is keeping everyone else away. She gently strokes my swollen cheek. First of all, let's get your wounds treated. Follow me to the infirmary. Got it. She walks away and I follow her. The moment I leave the room, the crying grows even louder. At least, that's what I thought. May 1st, Friday, 12:17. No one is in the infirmary. Upon realizing this, Otonashi-san examines my injuries and palpates my wound. She takes a medicine box off the shelf and starts to treat my wound with deft movements. I shouldn't expect to come across such a disastrous scene when I decided to share my new thoughts in the box with you. What happened? She asked while disinfecting my wound. I would like to know that myself, honestly. You don't remember? I nod. For some reason, she lets out a horribly annoyed sigh. It's always the same thing with you ever since the rejecting classroom. It's getting old, you know. It's not like I want to lose my memories. I'm just joking, of course, she explains as she applies a gauze patch to my face. The first thing I saw was Omine treading on you. Do you remember what happened before that? He was already on top of me by the time I regained consciousness. So you don't have the slightest idea why he hit you? I don't know. After hearing me out, she crosses her arms and ponders the matter. Kazuki, do you have your cell phone with you right now? My cell phone? Should be inside my pants pocket. There might be some sort of record left behind. Search it thoroughly. I quickly take out my cell and searched it as instructed. Calls received, outgoing calls, inbox, outbox. None of them seems to have changed. I open the data folder. Voice folder. I have a voice folder? I open it. There is one item with a 12-digit file name. I guess the numbers reference the file creation time? If it wasn't edited in some way, this file was created on May 1st around 2 a.m. In other words, sometime late last night. Open the file and press my ear to the phone. A voice starts to play. Good morning, Kazuki Hoshino-kun. Or should I say, good day, or good night, even. What the? I unwittingly pause the file playback. Why is there a recording of some unfamiliar guy on my phone? Why is this guy talking to me? What's wrong, Kazuki? Did you come upon anything useful? Unable to answer her, my fingers tremble as I press the play button once more. Well, I guess it really doesn't matter. You don't care about such details either, do you? What do you care about is who I am, right? Just to confirm you know about the boxes, right? You heard about them from O, right? There's no need for me to repeat that explanation, is there? He knows about the boxes as well as O? Does that mean that he is the owner? You must have noticed by now that your everyday life is starting to crumble. Cool, isn't it? After all, that's what I'm aiming for, but why? Because I want to eliminate you, Kazuki Hoshino. The contrast between the casual tone of his voice, what he's saying, causes my heart to race. I will eliminate you. I will destroy everything you value. With my box, I can steal everything from you. It'll be a cinch after all. The voice is cut off. No, that's not quite right. I just dropped my cell phone. Kazuki, are you alright? What on earth did you listen to? I've just experienced clear hostility from someone who has obtained the worst and most powerful weapon, a box, and is going to attempt to destroy my life. Otonashi-san picks up my phone and opens a voice file. This is... She raises an eyebrow and she listens closely to the message. After a while, she flips the cell phone shut, returns to me without a word, crosses her arms, and loses herself in thought. Kazuki, she finally says in an alarming, clear voice. I've been ruminating over this matter ever since the events of this morning. I had come up with some vague ideas for how we should proceed, but I couldn't come to a conclusion. However, now that I've heard this recording, I've made up my mind. Otonashi-san looks straight at me. I won't trust you anymore. Huh? I open my mouth like an idiot, unable to follow her. You've noticed by now that this box seems to be focused directly on you, haven't you? To make matters worse, you've already fallen into the hands of the owner. Therefore, I cannot trust you. I repeat those words in my head. She can't trust me? Why? I would never betray you. Right, you wouldn't. If you are Kazuki Hoshino, that is. Huh? But are you really Kazuki Hoshino? Maybe you're the owner. You're being cryptic, Otonashi-san. The owner is the one who recorded that voice message, right? Did you not finish listening to the recording? No, even if you stopped listening midway, you should have at least recognized the speaker's voice. You're a complete imbecile sometimes. Otonashi-san, did you uncover his identity? Do we already know who the owner is? You know him? Well, I suppose it stands to reason that you will fail to recognize the voice. After all, you've never heard that voice in this manner, and the way he talks is entirely different as well. She murmurs instead of answering my question. She then turns her back to me and proceeds to leave the infirmary. Wait, come on, at least tell me who the voice is. She stops, but she does not turn around to face me. Kazuki, try listening to this voice once more when you've regained your composure. Upon saying so, she walks away. Stunned by her absolute rejection, I'm unable to call out to her. Otanashi-san left me here alone. As I listen to the voice, which is unfamiliar to me, even though I hear it all the time, once more, I finally understand what's going on. I can't help but laugh. Fair enough. It's only natural that she can't trust me right now. Shit. Then what am I supposed to do now? It'll be a cinch, after all. I finally hear the end of the message. We're sharing your body. It's the voice of none other than myself.